come on, camera. Come on, camera. There we go. That's staying in the intro. Welcome to Rival Stage Gaming, everyone. My name is Nick. I'm here with Ryan and Jake Hyatt today, and we're going to just kind of be catching up with him and talking about the game universes. So, Jake, thanks for being with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
So you're obviously coming off a really high finish at a regional. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But, if anybody doesn't know, Ryan and I actually play with Jake in our local meta here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I'm sure there's a lot you guys probably want to talk about in relation to the game and our store we play and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yay. So Jake, old buddy, old pal, funny enough, as Nick was saying, us three, we know each other quite well, as the fact that we play each other every week and have been for quite a while. When did you actually start playing the game? I think we were talking earlier, I started around MHA 3, and when do you think you started?
Well, I remember with my siblings, we got boxes of set 1, and we built decks out of that. But learning the rules and getting into standard started around My Hero 4 when I started getting into it. And that's when I started trying to build a real deck and competing. Although the first couple were not very good. I remember playing Ida 3 and my whole deck was all EX attacks. And oh man, did I learn that sometimes you just need some good stuff in a deck.
Yeah, then if I remember correctly, you just naturally adapted to one of the best characters ever playing Sato, and that was just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, heavily inspired by River Cook because we would sometimes, play in PSCs against him, and I saw him play, and I was like, I want to play that. That looks a lot better than Ida 3.
Yeah, shout out to River because he always shows me something. He's from the Chicago group, if you're unfamiliar, but he always shows us something that's super cool to build off of stuff. I remember that Sato deck just being a nightmare, but it was so fun.
Yeah, I mean, you also got to draw so many cards with that character in that deck, with every kick drawing cards and the character drawing 2 extra cards, and I love drawing cards, so my style.
Yeah, no kidding. Sure. Yeah. For you, that's probably checkbox number 1. Can I draw 1,000,000 cards?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love cards like Science Bros where I can, commit it, ready it, commit it, draw more cards. That's definitely my style. Passing the Torch was one of the first cards that I fell in love with. I was addicted to playing characters that discarded their whole hand and committing it to draw 2. Definitely some of my favorite stuff.
Hey, what did you take the Nats in 23? That was Midoriya 2?
Yeah, Midoriya 2, and I was trying to...
Life. Yeah, life punches, baby.
Check passing the torches, build in passing the torches, draw more cards. Yep.
Yeah, that was so much fun. That was so cool.
I miss that card. I miss that card a lot, but that's kind of like the genius, I think, that you've kind of shown since you started playing the game, because everybody who picks up this game, I've been playing this game longer, obviously, than a lot of people, but everybody who picks up this game, because of the complexity and how much is going on and stuff, it's so hard to build your first deck. We were just talking earlier, I still don't really know how to build a deck in a lot of cases when it comes to building something competitive and things of that nature, but it's really been cool to see you and Cole and Sam and everybody in your team who's kind of bringing all these really cool ideas to the table, because if they don't know Cole, they've probably never been run over by his grog deck. If they don't, if they don't know Sam, they've probably never been just completely iced out on turn 2. It's super cool, and I absolutely love what you've kind of brought to the game since both of you have started playing at the time you guys did, which was kind of rough in my opinion. It was not the greatest of metas, but you persevered and got through it.
Yeah, speaking of your siblings, why don't you talk about the origins of Nomu Shake? How did that come apart? I know, what is it, Cole's the unofficial captain, followed by Sammy and you, but how did you fit in all of this?
Yeah, well, they got me into the game, really. I was playing a lot more, Magic or Hearthstone, and I wanted to spend more time with my siblings, and they were like, come try this game, it'll really scratch that competitive itch. And it did. I was getting out of, playing Modern in Magic, because if you play Magic, you'll know why. It was kind of a nightmare for a while. And it would really help to try out this game, which had, I think, so much cool opportunity for deck building and for learning and so many cool players. And then we wanted to build a team to represent like our local scene. So we got a lot of our locals into it. And now we've actually expanded to having some other members of the community that aren't even in Milwaukee in the team. So that's been really exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. As an honorary member myself, quote unquote.
Yeah. You're our secret agent, right? So
I am a secret agent.
I love the team. I'm the honorary like punching bag every week at locals, so I love it.
Yeah, so Jake, coming off Buffalo, he did unbelievable. Actually, everybody from Milwaukee and the Wisconsin area actually did fantastic. Best I ever placed, best you ever placed. Cole and Sammy did great as well. So, give me some highlights. What was something that was awesome for you? Something that maybe you would want to change, and then anything that you wanted to point out in general.
Well, obviously, it was incredibly a great feeling to be on camera. 3 times in one event? That was awesome, and I finally broke my curse of never winning on camera. So that was really great. I was super excited to just in general to be at the top tables. I've never made a top cut. So lots of great firsts, and being at the top table and splitting for second or like IDing for second was a really cool feeling as well.
Oh man, I haven't gotten that opportunity yet, but round 7 ID has got to be the coolest thing. Knowing that you're there, and all you have to do is sit down and just be like, "Hey, ID."
Yeah, absolutely.
Go mess around for an hour and just like cool down, and you're so hyped.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Now, speaking about Swiss, I got a couple questions because I just saw, I'm looking at the Metaverses data. I'm just really curious. So, you played Constantine, the winner of the event, in round 2, and you took him 2-0, and then you played him in top 4 and lost 0-2. I was just curious if you can remember, how did that round 2 feel? And then what happened in top cuts that like kind of swung it the other way? So I was just curious on if you can remember anything that stuck out to you between those 2 sets.
Yeah, I would say it really comes down to one card for my memory, and the card is Unyielding Destruction. Constantine's game plan into me, and it was a good game plan, was to draw a lot of cards, get to like 9 foundations, and then when I pass back to him to draw like 15 cards and play all of them. But every time in the first round in Swiss, I set him back down to 4 foundations, and then he wasn't really able to do anything, and I was able to just grind through those 2 games honestly, and it kind of felt, not to be mean, but it felt like a really tough matchup to lose in round 2. And then in our second match, he turn 2'd me, or he killed me very quickly, and I didn't draw an Unyielding. And then the second game we played, he played really well as well. So, and I didn't draw an Unyielding. So I would say that was a big difference maker, and it was a really crucial card in the matchup, maybe more than I even realized in our Swiss round.
Did you win the die roll in round 2? Do you remember?
I believe, no, I lost, because the first die roll I won was against, I think round 4 against Innsmouth.
Okay, cool. Yeah, speaking of it, let's move on to round 5 against my teammate TC on that banger of a on-camera game. Anything that through that was crazy. I mean, I was actually with your sister watching on her phone, even though you were right behind us, just watching every moment of that game because it was so cool. But I wanted to get your opinion. Anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still really hung up on my misplay, not EXing my repeated, if anyone saw that. But I don't know, it's tough on camera. I get so nervous. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how I played. Like, TC had a lot of really strong defensive pieces, and he's such a good player. So to be able to play through that and get the tie really helped me. I mean, without that, I would not have been second seed. So it helped a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else from Swiss that stuck out to you that you want to talk about?
I think in general, like my round 6 against Ezra, I've played against Ezra before and I lost to him. He was playing Not, and this week he was playing Krista, or this event, and that was a really tough matchup. He was such a good player, and that character and his ability to just pass every control check and play way more attacks than you should be able to on 4 foundations was terrifying. And in general, that was something that I struggled with, was against characters like Devil Jin or this Krista deck, where setting them back to 4 foundations doesn't mean as much to them because they will just check well anyway. It was scary.
Yeah, even though like Rodan, you can like, even though they stack your deck, you kind of have to like play smart around like your commit ability to be able to look at your top cards, because like if you do it early and they start stacking really bad, that could be bad. Or if you don't have 4 attacks and you're removed from game pile, you're gonna look at the top 2. So I feel like you have a little bit of counterplay, but overall, if they're just slinging a bunch of attacks on turn 2, and if I remember correctly, they're on City Rampage as well, so like all their checks were even better. So I could definitely feel how that would be hard.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best things I learned against Krista was to try to keep a supersonic flight in my discard pile. So with incubating, I can just draw that, whatever they stack, in theory, if they set me up for that.
Yeah, and I mean, you can also thank your sister for playing City Rampage in every deck and probably playing City Rampage every week for a year and a half.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One thing that I always love about going to these events is kind of just like the community aspect of it, especially when you go to like a big regional, especially with one that's like kind of like jammed at the end of the year, like during the holiday time and everything like that. And I feel like it was a lot of people were going to short sell it as to how popular that event was going to end up being. And it ended up having like a really good, pull, a draw of people. I think it was 81 people total there. What was your kind of like favorite memory outside of the game of universes? Take yourself away from the game for a second. You've mentioned in the past before, I believe it was in a video, you talk about road trips. You love just driving out and making all these memories in the car, and enjoying that. But, like when you get to a destination like Buffalo, and you got a little bit of time to yourself, what are you doing at an event like that?
Well, I think my favorite memory from the event was actually probably talking to Constantine after our Swiss round. He's a really cool guy. He wanted to make that video, and he was really sweet to talk to. And it's just great to like play a match against somebody and have it be like no hard feelings, and we get to like connect after and talk about, our locals. And he was asking me tons of questions about like how I got into the game, and it was just great to make a friend there. Outside of that, I did actually have a lot of fun on the road trip back. We played, our Noma Shake team, we played 20 questions of Universus cards for I think 7 hours straight on the road trip back. So it was a really fun time.
That honestly like tracks 100%, and that sounds like a great time.
So Jake, looking ahead, we got King of Fighters coming up. Is there anything in there that you saw that might shake it up before Worlds? It's our last product before the big one, right? I just wanted to get your thoughts on anything that you thought that was cool, and then we'll get into the Godzilla stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm really excited for the asset Team Hero 15. Looks really, really fun. Being able to build basically anything out of your discard pile for a 2-diff with that has a 5 control seems really strong. And Substitute Member seems like the kind of card that I am excited to play and scared to play against, resetting speed to 3. So those are 2 cards that I'm personally excited for. And then otherwise, the Attack Hadir to me looks really exciting, which is a 4-diff that has Breaker 2 and does cool stuff. So that card seems really scary to play against.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head for me, because those are the exact 3 cards that I'm really excited for. The asset, by far the most important one for me, because I think it's insane. And then also, let's just throw a +1 high block on it as well to make that even better.
Yeah.
And then Hadir, I think, is also going to be really interesting. I think a lot of characters that are really momentum driven are going to be able to Breaker to you, then stack it. So essentially, you're going to be checking a 1 if you don't have a way to deal with it. Could end turns and is abusable. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, Hadir was one of the first cards that I saw that I was like, oh, okay, like
This might be the problem card from this release already here, kind of popping up right away. In terms of decks, I'm going to make you pick a side here. Who are you going with? You going with Team Hero, or are you going Team Villain between the 2 King of Fighter decks?
Oh, I guess I'd probably say Team Hero. I think that to me that has more exciting stuff, but I both look really cool, if I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to pick. I do think the Thruster Vision stuff also looks really fun, especially with like Battle for Dominance in like my deck could be really exciting, but at the very least it looks like fun cards to play with, like putting stuff in your own card pool to get cool benefits.
Yeah, it's like kind of Chris Smith and I were talking about it, and it's going to come out before the cycle, and it's got a lot of good punches and like a lot of fun stuff, like just being released out of that deck, and that's like one of my favorite archetypes to play if you've played against me at all. So I love just punching things, and so it's got everything I want for Mirio to kind of come back and then throw people around, hopefully one last time.
Yeah. Oh man, you're bringing Mirio back? That's exciting.
I keep toying with it. I don't know if it's got real legs, but it might have enough for me to be an idiot about it at locals for like a month.
No, he's good. That seems good.
Yeah, and you know, kind of speaking of that too, with like with these releases and everything, this release happens at the end of January, and then we're not going to get the next Godzilla booster set until March. So it's going to kind of open up a good, like, you know, 2-month window. What characters do you think are going to be the top that are kind of like maybe even still around or at the top of the current metagame right now, going into Godzilla, kind of closing out the last before we hit rotation?
I think obviously some of the decks that are on top right now are still going to be really good going into Worlds, like Devil Jin. I think Rodan looks really good, but I think Jacob Johnson is probably one of the characters kind of sneaking under the radar that, you know, some people probably don't even know he'll be legal at Worlds, but that character can play the equipment heist game plan with Ocean Buddies better than anyone else, and I think that he looks like someone who could totally take Worlds, I think.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think I've been messing around with Jacob Johnson as well on my team, and it's a deck building problem just because you have to find that balance of how many actions, how many assets, and then how many, you know, foundations to make the curve okay. Because you know, there's definitely times where like, oh shoot, I got 4 actions, 1 foundation, 2 assets. What do? You know, and you're kind of behind the ball there. But overall, I think with the right pilot and the right time put into it, I agree 100%. Definitely a real sneak peek or sneaky character that could take it all.
Yeah, it's a tough character to evaluate because I think you get into Christmas land a little bit when you think about, well, if I always have actions to block with and I always build well, this is how it could be.
Yeah.
But if things go that way, this could be the scariest deck in Standard. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just seeing like what people are toying with and, you know, like building out and then like retooling and everything. It's just like it's got every tool that you could want. And yeah, you do kind of get into that, like, you know, Christmas land where you're like, oh, well, I'll always blah, 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 blah. But even then, it's still, the deck is just built with a ton of fantastic, you know, cards in it. And it's incredibly workable. It looks fantastic.
Now, speaking of like the meta and stuff, you know, I'll pick your brain a little bit here. We're recording this before the first Tuesday of January. Do you expect any bans or erratas to come? And actually, let me rephrase it. Do you think anything will be changed before Worlds? Because we do have this month, and then you have the first month and then you have February as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the question in all of our minds, right? I think if they're going to do anything, they're going to do it now. And I think if I were to pick, I would hope that they get rid of the super mutant machine and just ban it. I think that equipment heist is cool, and I think it could be cooler if they weren't just getting this broken 7-diff asset. If they were just grabbing military airships and grabbing Team Hero 15s and grabbing tattered costumes or whatever, I think it would be much more reasonable to deal with, in my opinion.
No, I agree as well, but I'm actually on the reverse side. I think that they should ban the action. What is it called?
Equipment heist?
Equipment heist.
Equipment heist, yeah, because I just think that restricts so many actions being built in the future, right? Because that card's going to be legal for another 2-3 years, and every single action that they have to print has to be, what happens if you build this in for free, right? And I just don't like that has to be a possibility going forward. But either way, I'll take it.
No, that's a really good point. I guess I'm thinking about right now. I think right now, if they didn't have Mutant Machine, it might be fine, but I hear what you're saying.
If they were making a change like just for one event for like Worlds or something, I would definitely just get rid of like Mutant Machine. But if it's like something that's going forward, like, yeah, I feel like Ryan does bring up like a really good point I never thought about. It's just like, yeah, you have to consider what this is going to be doing now for so long because it just came out. So yeah, I can see myself being in both sides of the fence there.
Yeah. I think another factor too, if you don't mind, is the mutant machine is also really good in other decks that feel like they're not really what Universus wants, which is the overhaul decks where they get to build it for free, unflip it. And I feel like that's also not, even though the deck might not power level wise be an outlier, it doesn't really feel like it's how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or shout out Ross if you're playing Kumont, you're just gonna build it for free. You know, like stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, totally agree.
So we touched on Godzilla, Jake. I already know your answer, but what are you looking forward to in the Godzilla set? What do you want to see?
Oh, you already know that I want to see more Rodan cards. I want to see more Ghidorah cards. I want to see maybe a new cool Ghidorah character because I miss combined firepower so much. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for all the Void cards. It's just going to be so sweet to get more tools for the deck that I've been playing for over a year now.
If there's one thing, please, UVS, please, and this is for me and my family's sake, bring back the Earth symbol. R.I.P. Jake Hyatt. I need you back, brother. But let's get the Earth symbol back on top, please. It has been down in the dumps for so long.
You could just make a really good Mothra, and that'll make up for it. Just give her the Earth symbol, please.
Do anything with face down foundations and the Earth symbol, please, and you got my brother back.
That would be another one too. Is I'm excited to see another character that plays well with Electric Moth, with a new Mothra that commits to do something. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, assuming that they probably should have like the giant keyword, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think they'd build it to work with Electric Moth, right?
Yeah.
God willing, right? That everything has the correct keywords on it. I personally, are there any like archetypes that you're like kind of looking at in Godzilla that you want to see more of or see less of, that they can kind of lean into, or so on and so forth? Like for me, for instance, I just hope we get a Mill character because Night Eye's leaving and then I'm lost. I don't know what to do. So is there anything like that you're hoping for?
Well, I guess I don't know if it's an archetype. Well, I guess I really like the idea. I know what I've been playing. I like the characters and cards that remove stuff as a cost. I think it's like a cool theme, and I've liked playing Ghidorah and Rodan. And so I think more cards like that, like maybe a new Mecha Godzilla, could also be a character I would be excited to play. So
yeah, I agree 100%. Anything like, I think the Godzilla cards really brought the remove from game pile into the forefront, right? Using remove as a cost, and then there's a bunch of foundations that like get to be built from the remove from game pile. So I totally agree. I think if they wanted to build upon that, there's room for it for sure. So Jake, talking about next year, what are your thoughts on the OP stuff that got announced recently?
I'm actually really excited for our first Chicago regional. Maybe, well, it's my time, probably, maybe ever. Not have to drive super far. We can, maybe even commute every day. I'm not sure what our plan is yet, but that's super exciting. And I honestly think the new LC program is really cool. I know there's some downsides with not being able to go to so many LCs, but I think it'll make the ones you do go to feel a lot more special, and they'll make them have a bigger attendance. We've had some that had less than 8 people, and this will make them really special, I think, when we do get them in our local area.
Yeah, I think we're going to probably see 20, 30 people at every single one because they're going to be so cutthroat. And also, shout out EU, RIP. But either way, I agree 100%. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool because it kind of brings back what I think LCs should be, which it should be like our chance at like our lowest level of a competitive event where we're all really trying our hardest, bringing our best decks. And I don't like it when people come to LCs and they're kind of just, they're just there for the participation points. Like, I mean, do what you need to do, but I think this makes it more exciting for me because I like the competitive side of the game.
Kind of touching on that, I got one more question. What are your thoughts as store scrambles as a whole? Do you like them? Do you think that there's a place for them? Or kind of give me your opinion on that.
I think I try to think from the perspective of like UVS Games making this stuff, and it makes sense to want, I guess that would be like the lowest level of a competitive event, but I don't think they've worked well in their execution because I think they feel even less important than the LCs, and the more competitive players have no reason to go, and the promos haven't been that exciting. And I don't know. I think they could do a lot better there if they really wanted that to be something that sticks for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, coming from, somebody like me who's hyper competitive, I struggle with it. Is because, like, when I come to play, I'm coming to test, my newest, baddest creation, right? I don't really have. For me, winning is fun versus, just playing. Yes, playing the game is fun too, but I go to win, right? Versus, like, bringing a toned down deck is harder for me to have more fun, I guess, knowing that I could play something better that I know I would be more successful with. So I guess that's my take back from it.
I personally
That
think
makes sense.
that like the scramble events are like they're kind of confusing in like what they're advertising to you, right? Like it's tough to be like it's a new player like focused event, but then also have like competitive prizing for it. Like it just seems a little backwards. And yeah, like once you get to a point to where you want to win, because winning feels good and everything like that, then that's all you're going to be focused on. You're not going to go out of your way to be so focused about new player experience or like friendly experience or anything like that you're going to tank your own like deck or anything like that. You're going to play super hard and super like aggressive and stuff. So they're just confusing to me. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that they should go all in on the new friendly player stuff. Like, I think you should allow proxies, for example, for those events. I'm pretty sure they're not allowed at any official UVS events, but just like, not everybody's gonna have every card to try the new decks, right? We have a couple of locals I saw talking like the Discord chat saying like, hey, I need cards for this, and it's like, oh, I hope I can get the cards to play this. I'm like, man, if we can just like print them some cards just so that they can able to play at these official events, it would be just so much better. Just for me to stomp them, but whatever.
Give them all the tools and then snuff out that hope. The Ryan Kogod plan.
Yeah, I think in general our game's not great at being casual either. It's not like Commander and Magic. It's tough because it's a 1v1 game and you're having the most fun usually when you're pushing the most buttons, being the most competitive, at least in my opinion. So I think it's difficult in general for them to even make a way for it to be casual UVS.
Yeah, 100%.
Jake, are we going to see you at Worlds this year?
Absolutely. You'll see me. I have 150 points. That means I'll be in the trenches day one. Okay. And I'll see you day two. I'm super excited.
What's the over-under on how many times you're put on stream? Ryan, what do you think? How many times do you think he's going to be up there?
I hope he gets on stream once. I hope I also get on stream once, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because I'm also going to be, I think, 147 points grinding day one with Jake as well.
Okay.
So it would be a dream of mine to meet you at table 1, round 7, and shake your hand and go have a drink with you, my friend.
No, we're playing it out. We're playing it out.
No, if you do that, that'd be insane.
No 2-hour lunch break. No 2-hour lunch break. Oh, perfect. Well, Jake, it has been a pleasure having you with us today and being able to talk to you about the game and talk to you about everything about it, which has been great. Ryan, do you have anything else for Jake before we let him go and get out of here?
No, it was a pleasure having you on, buddy.
Thank you. I have something.
Yeah.
Please check out Team Nomushek's YouTube channel. I just uploaded an hour-long deep dive into my deck list I took to 3rd place, and we're uploading more stuff. We got stuff cooking. I'm working on a game show for UVS. I'm still working on it, but just check it out. It's super exciting.
Perfect. And where can we find you if we want to play with you every week at locals?
Oh, you can find me at Game Universe in Brookfield in Milwaukee. And if you're new to the scene, just come on in. We play on Mondays. We also play casual play on Fridays sometimes. And we're all super nice. I have all my commons and uncommons sorted, so I'll help you build a deck if you want for free with all the commons and uncommons. Let's play some games.
Awesome. Well, I have nothing else for you. My name is Nick, and this is
Rabble Stage Gaming.
You're supposed to say Ryan. We're done anyways. Good night, everyone.
See ya.